Let's talk horns and horn sections. And this is kind of a tricky thing to mix live because the instrument itself is so loud up on stage. So what you put out through the PA really depends on the venue. If you are in a small venue, you might not even put anything from the horn section out in the PA because they will be so loud up on stage. And with a bigger stage and a bigger venue, obviously you need to put out horns through the PA. But how you mix horns really depends on the venue and the context, of course. So what I'm about to show you are not settings that will work all of the time, but it's kind of a starting point for a mid-sized venue, and you might be able to apply some of these techniques in both smaller and bigger venues. So enough yapping, let's go. All right, so here we have a horn section with a trombone, saxophone, and 2 trumpets. All of these go to the horns group. Then we have a horn reverb, and then all of these end up in the music group. But today we will only listen to and focus on the horns. So as you can see, I have the exact same plugins on all separate horn mics, and then some other stuff on the horns group. So let's start with everything turned off and let's go through everything. So let's have a look at the trombone. So first of all, we have the PSE, which just is a gate, and this will just lower the signal from the mic when he's not playing. After that, we have the NLS channel for some, well, basically some saturation, just a little grit. And after that, we have some EQ. And well, in this case, I have boosted some low end and a bit of top end, but this obviously really depends on what mic you have, how the instruments sound, how the venue sound. So these are the settings I used for the last show with this band. This go into the HCOM for some light compression. So let's have a listen with all of this before and after. So basically cleaning up things and give it a little bit more presence. And as you can see, the compressor is not doing a whole lot. I think on the loudest part it might reduce about 3 dBs or so, but for the most part it's not really even doing any compression at all. All right, so let's move on to the saxophone. And well, basically here it's the same thing, the PSE, the same setting for the NLS channel, and then some EQ to focus the saxophone to the kind of tonality I need for this horn section, and again some compression. So let's have a listen to just the saxophone. So again, cleaning up stuff and giving it a bit more focus. And moving on to trumpets, same thing. And in this case, the Niveau setting for the NLS channel is not as gritty as the mic setting. And I thought that worked a bit better for the trumpets. Again, some EQ, cleaning up and giving it a bit more top end. And then again, some light compression. And The second trumpet is basically, well, more or less copy-paste. It's not the exact same EQ setting, but everything else is more or less the same. So let's have a listen to the whole horn section, and we start with everything in bypass, and then I will turn everything on. So all of these kind of small tweaks actually makes a big difference within the whole horn section. And when mixing horn section, to me there are two things that are the most significant things in order to make it to actually sound like a horn section. And the first thing is reverb. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we have been listening with reverb all of this time. And it's because if I turn off the reverb, it will sound kind of strange. So let's turn off the reverb. And to me, this sound kind of strange. Things are just poking out everywhere, and the reverb really helps glue things together. So let's have a listen, or rather let's have a look at the reverb setting. And as always, starting with an EQ, removing all of the low end and all of the top end. And then in this case, I actually used the True Verb. This is a really old reverb, but I find it to work quite well with horns and sometimes strings when you need kind of natural sound, or just some kind of room for the whole thing. And in this case, the decay time is 1.3 seconds, and you will find this preset in the link in the description if you want to download and try for yourself. All right, so if reverb is one of the two big things, then group compression is the second big thing. So let's have a look at the horns group. So the horns group start with an F6, and here I just for starters, just remove more of the low end that might slip through from the channel EQ. And then I have a small low end boost. And this is actually a dynamic EQ band, so this will bring down the mid-range a bit more when they really lean into things, so that the sound is not as harsh. And then band 5, this is actually sidechain to the vocal group. So when the vocalist sings and the horns play at the same time, this will remove some top end from the horns in order to have the vocal be on top of things, so that the horn section don't overpower the lead vocalist. Then this feed into the 1176 and or rather CLA 76, because we are in Waves land. And this one will actually do some quite heavy compression when everyone is really hammering on things. But then if there's a saxophone solo, for instance, this compressor will not do, well, basically no compression at all. This is just when everyone is playing really loud, then this would kind of keep things in order. Then this feeds into the Kramer tape, which kind of helps to glue things together even more. So let's have a listen to the whole section with all of this on and off. So to me, this really helps to glue things together in a quite nice way. So actually, let's have a listen to everything in bypass and then everything turned on. So that's my starting point for mixing a horn section, and the keyword really is a starting point, because the venue will play a huge role in how you actually will mix horns. But hopefully this gave some insights into a technique and a way to mix that I find work most of the times actually. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. This session will be in the link below, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care.